Okay, guys, what the fuck is going on with my life? Okay, am I live again? You guys can see me. I don't know what's going on with these lives. Okay, am I live again? Okay, I'm good. Okay, you guys can see me, right? Let's see. I don't have bad weather over here, so I don't know why it's dropping. It says adding. Oh, there you go.
Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Second. Hi, Mama. How are you? Can you hear me?
You heard?
What?
I can hear you, but put the camera up a little bit because I can only see you from like this right here down.
Better now?
A little bit more.
Like this?
There you go. Bam.
Hi.
All right. Hi. Bendición.
Santo. Santo. Y bendición to all my santeros mayores y menores.
So, yes. So, introduce yourself for the people that don't know you and, you know, just where you from and how long you had Santo and stuff like that.
My name is Sudy. I'm crowned ochun. And I have Santo 29 years. I'm about to do 30. I was crowned real young at 11 years old by very old school people. My godmother was from the Bronx. And
who's your godmother?
Her name was Elsie Valentine. She moved to PR like, wow, it's like over 20 years ago.
But probably people know her. I probably
absolutely.
Well, not me.
People know Petra Dami Collales. That was one of her best friends.
That's my grandmother in Santo.
Juanito, Debbie. You know what I'm saying?
That's my grandmother in Santo. My husband is Debbie's son.
Okay, so then Debbie gave me Olokun actually.
Oh, so we're related.
So we here. Debbie gave me Olokun when I was like 8 years old.
Wow, so then look at that. We're related.
It's a small world, the religious community. It definitely is. Yeah. It is a very, very small world.
Babe, you know Elsa? I'm gonna be like, yeah. My husband's gonna be 30.
Yeah.
Elsie. He's gonna be 30 now. 30 now in December.
Okay. Her son has Chango, right?
That's the baby, yeah. They both have Chango, the older one and the young one, and then Nena has Ochun.
And then the daughter, right. I used to play with them when I was little at Elsie's house.
So look at that.
Used to work there. She used to live on Castle Hill in the Bronx.
Yeah, so look at that. See, and we didn't even have we didn't have conversation.
I was gonna ask you when like, cause I know Padrino Juanito used to live around there. You know what I'm saying?
That's where that's where I was coming from when I saw you.
Okay. Yeah.
That was his Santa's birthday. You could have came upstairs.
Girl, I haven't seen him in years. I would love to see him. I lost.
Oh, so the next time I'm there, when you come and I'm there, you go see him. Yeah.
Definitely.
Look at that. So see people, and we didn't have a conversation before that. See.
What's crazy is, for sure, I would love to. You know, I did Santo real young. I'm the only person crowned in my family. My mom has medio asiento. You know, she did ceremonies with me, but I was the one who kept carrying on in the religion. So Juanito and Debbie know me since I'm a little girl. I used to play with their kids when I was little. Juanito actually gave a local to my mom. We received it together.
Okay.
Debbie gave it to me.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. So I know Debbie before the LASIK surgery when she had her glasses.
yeah. She still got her glasses though.
Oh, she still got glasses? Because I remember she did LASIK and she wasn't wearing them for a minute.
Yeah.
So I come from a very old school era of very old school people.
Yeah, you know the people I have. I mean, we got the whole connection.
Right, because it's a small world, the Santo community.
Yeah, that's why I tell people that it's small, it's big, but yet small. Like, we're going to know something.
I'm going to say this. The community is small, but the mouths are very big.
There you go. That makes more sense. Because I was going to make one call and find something out. Because that's how it happens. When you want to confirm something, you just make a call. And you can confirm if you got it or not. If you're lying about your lineage, because you got to just make one call.
You know what's crazy? I meet people who don't even know I got Santo, and they look at me up and down like, you got Santo? When I tell them the years, their jaw drops. They're like, oh my God, for real? Bendición, they want to throw themselves. I'm like, I'm real, like, I want to touch the subject real quick, because when you got Santo, people think if they throw themselves, you automatically going to lift them up from the floor. Not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
My godmother told me,
ochun
is not going to be given a chance.
Because if you leave me on the floor, we fighting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people get offended by that.
But that's why you don't let them throw themselves.
That's why I don't. And I tell them, you know, Santo, please, you know what I'm saying? Don't throw yourself to me, because it's for me. It's not for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever I do, I got to respond to ochun on my lady. You understand? And it goes vice versa. Whoever disrespects me, they got to deal with ochun's fire. You feel me? Because you're not only disrespecting me, you're disrespecting the crown that was put on my head.
Exactly. Exactly.
As santeros, sometimes we like to talk shit about each other. We like to respect each other, but you don't understand. You disrespecting that shit. You disrespecting whoever works with you and follow. You disrespecting the espíritus in your cuadro. You disrespecting fucking ancestors, people crowned on people's head. It goes beyond. We want to talk about salvation and karma and all this shit, so let's keep it 100. Let's act like that.
Yeah. You're right.
So many people talk shit about me. They don't even know how many years I'm crowned. If you don't know where I come from and how many years I'm crowned, you can't talk shit about me, because you don't know me. I'm humble. I don't walk in the room like, I got 30 years. Throw yourself. I'm mad humble. But I know that I have to be respected because of the amount of years that I carry with me.
No, of course.
Whether I have godchildren or not, whether I practice it or not, none of that shit means nothing. I'm still crowned.
Yeah.
Everybody has different paths. There's people who can't work in the Santo room. There's people who can't, and that's okay. But we still all got Santo and should respect each other. Period.
Exactly. But
I don't choose to be in Santo rooms because it's too much gossip and it's too much bullshit.
Yeah.
And another thing is, what I saw growing up, like you said, is not the shit I'm seeing now. And I'm not with it. I don't know everything, and I have so much more to learn, but I know what I know. And I know when I
lost your voice. Wait. Shit. Where did you go? What happened? Wait.
You can't hear me?
I don't know what happened. Hold on.
The signal. I think it's the signal.
Talk now.
I'm still here.
It went low.
It went low?
Wait.
How about now?
What happened? No, because somebody tried to call me just now. That's why. Nothing.
Hear me?
Go out and then come back in.
I will.
Nothing. Y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? I just told them to not call me. Let me see. It's adding.
How about now?
Okay. Yes. Because they try to call me. When they call me,
probably. I got a fucked up signal too. I'm in the mountains, girl. The signal ain't that great up here.
I know. That's what it is too.
I got my bonnet on. You see me with my fresh?
Yeah, thank you. She bought my bonnet, guys. See my bonnet.
If you want to get fresh, ladies, and keep that hair in place, because I'm a blonde, my shit be falling out. Cop you this cute little fucking bonnet, okay?
Yes, thank you. So,
but
like we were saying here before we got rudely interrupted.
I was not part of a Santo house for many years, because after my godmother and my mother argued, I didn't choose to keep I was taught how to maintain my santos, how to clean them, everything. You know, since a child, I knew my mayuba, I know what to say, I knew how to throw coco, all that stuff. But I wasn't doing anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's also because I
Yeah.
was blessed to have a ita in my life.
Yeah. Now it's time for the religion. Yeah.
I raised 5 kids. I gotta pay my bills and live the real world out there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what we trying to say. People try to take the religion as a business.
And another thing, which is two-sided for me, because I drive really nice cars, I have really nice things, because I work hard and I like to get nice things. And a lot of people, when they see me pull up in my car, they probably think, oh, she got that
Yeah.
because she a santera, whatever. No, my nigga. I got that because I know how to work. I know how to hustle. I know how to get mine. That don't got nothing to do with the
Mm-hmm.
religion. Because if I'm in a fucking
Exactly.
Honda Accord or I'm in a fucking Maybach, I'm still the same bitch. I'm still the same santera.
Yeah.
That's my material life. People don't understand the
Exactly.
difference between the material and the spiritual, and the santo and the palo. And if you do sanse or you do 21 divisions, all that is fine and dandy. But what we have in our material life. We don't have that in any of those religious denominations.
Yeah.
That don't
Well,
validate
from your
nothing.
aspect, 'cause there's a lot of people that live off of this, and that's how they get their shit,
Right.
because
I
like
respect
we've
that
been
too,
talking
because
about
like
people
I
how to look
tell
for red
people,
flags.
I respect that too. Like I tell people, because I know people around me that be like, oh my God, you always doing shit to your kids. You always, you don't hesitate. Listen, I just did my own rule out to my 7-year-old. We all know that's not cheap. You understand? But you got to buy
No, of course,
materials.
yeah.
When it comes down to the derecho, people who are overcharging are making derecho money. Honestly,
Yeah, exactly.
all right, let's say somebody don't got the bread to do santo. They want 10 G's and up, a simple
Yeah.
santo like ochun or batala chango. I know I got to crown my son Yemaya. In Cuba, with fucking 3 stacks, I get everything
They all
done.
tenning up
Legit,
now.
proper. But with the circumstances that's going on, who the fuck is trying to go to Cuba right now and go through all that? And don't get me wrong, you gotta know who you're dealing with in Cuba, because you'll get charged 5, 6, 7 racks even in Cuba if you don't know who you're dealing with.
Exactly. Exactly. But that's what we're trying to say, that people like, oh, the Santos, listen, nowadays it's 10, and the godparents don't really come out walking with nothing. Sometimes they got to put in their pocket, because the animals are double now. They're not like
Listen,
before. They could get.
I was just at a santo for a beautiful young lady. They weren't able to play a tambor.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that the santos are not crowned on her fucking lady, and she didn't go through her initiation and she didn't make her sacrifices for her santos.
Of course. I didn't play a drum when I did Santos, nor did my
Sometimes,
son.
yo, back in the day, not a lot of people had tambores. That was like a big event. Now it's every
Yeah.
weekend. It's a fucking tambor.
Yeah. I
Every
remember.
fucking weekend. And there's niggas in front of the drums dancing in front of the room that don't even got nothing.
Exactly. Back then, when they did it in a bowl, it was necessity, and it was in a. I mean, drumming, it was in a bowl. It was for a
Right,
reason they did it,
exactly.
and they sacrificed food because they had it. It was for a reason they do it. Now they just do it, just do it.
Some people didn't need it. Some people didn't need to
Yeah.
do that. Not saying that you shouldn't do it, but everything in their time. It's not like an ebometa that you have to do when you complete your 3 months.
Yeah.
That's not something you could go around. Or when
Exactly.
and you're in it for the wrong reason. Back in my day, you needed to have your couple of years and you needed to be complete to be able to go work in that Santo room and do what you had to do. There's niggas that are fucking still jabos, basically, talking about that's my godchild. How, my nigga? You don't even got a name yet. You still a jabo. You don't got a fucking name. How the fuck you a padrino or madrino? This is just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Try not to curse so much because then they'll cut it off. I'm
sorry, but I come from a time where those things didn't exist.
No, of course, yeah.
You couldn't do those things.
But that's the way it was back then. You had to have stripes. You had to put your work in. Now it's like once you come out, you got all this stuff, and it's like I was just talking about my husband with that too. Like when you do your first crowning, like your godmother with you back then will be the one that run that santo and take that head, and you go nyal because they have to teach you those steps. So when it's time for you nyal, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like that's the way it was back then. Now they give you they want that first santo, they want to run it, and then you don't know the job of the ymonamiento, so you have to wait for the next step.
If you want to work something and you're not getting along with your godparent because shit happens, right? Your responsibility is to make sure when you walk in that room, you have somebody with you that's going to explain to you what's going on. The people in that santo don't have an obligation to teach you what's going on.
Exactly.
Your obligation is to either know or be with somebody and say, hey, I'm going to come with so-and-so, that's my elder, because they're going to be guiding me through this. So I know what I'm doing and I don't do no mess there and I don't look bad.
Exactly.
If I don't know it, I'm not going into a lion's den and then crying about it. You're walking into the lion's den. You know you don't know anything.
Exactly.
Don't blame your elder or blame your madrina or blame your padrino, because if you fought with them and there were differences, that's on your relationship. I feel like I'm from back in the day. My godmother didn't feel a need to have to make up with my mom if my mom got in the way of me and her relationship, because old school santeros don't look for their godchildren. You got to be under them.
Yeah.
You understand? But I think that that's the wrong way. I think that when you become someone's madrina, padrino, they're like your child now. Are you not going to look after your child, call your child, say, you okay? ¿Qué está pasando? You need something? Tú no tienes chavo, ven para acá, ven a hacer esta rogación. I just started helping people.
Yeah.
No problem.
You're freezing.
Come hit me. Or the way that we have.
You're breaking up. I think it's where you at. You breaking up. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You breaking up a little bit. I didn't hear nothing you said. It was like mumbling.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was talking about derechos because I seen that you made a comment about back in the days, the derechos.
Yeah.
I do something for someone. I'm not saying you don't have to give me the derecho, because I'm saying that goes to a batala or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? But when you got it, my nigga, don't forget that what I did for you.
No, of course. That's a godparent supposed to help you in need. Like if you don't have it, listen, I got you. Just remember what come to Oatala and you give them something. You don't gotta give them $100, but you have to give them something. But now
I swear to you.
Now if you don't got it, then
bring him some baby breath. Bring him a vela. Bring him pan dulce. That you're thankful for what we doing for you, because I'm just a tool. You understand what I'm saying? He's the one who's doing the work. I'm just the tool. He's using me as the tool. I gave somebody's head yesterday. They asked me, oh, why do you ask me to rayar el coco? Because you need to meditate and pray. The coco's going on your head, not mine.
And you know it's crazy, they don't do that no more. Now they'll just have it ready.
That's how I do it. I've been places where it's ready in a Ziploc bag. Oh, the rogacion's ready. I'm like, how?
Yeah. Back then, you would have to guayar that coco and talk and say all the stuff you
But in your mind, you need to go when you're rayando, háblale con abatala. Ay, papa, I got this problem. I need you to help me. I need peace of mind. I need tranquility. Because you're the one with the problem, not me. I could do it, but it's going on your head. That's how my godmother used to do it. When I was a little girl, I got taught how to open a coco way before anything.
Yeah.
Because you didn't need
and then you have to
get a
guayar. You know how many nooks and crannies I got because of that shit.
Right.
But now they do the easy way. They want to just, you have it done, and then they don't, and then because they want, it's a rush thing. So now they want it done. They don't want to, sit there and meditate. So they already have it done.
Girl, that's the truth. Piece of fucking candle when she was done with you. Because she was like, obviously, I'm giving you a rogation because there's issues. So you need to sit there and think about them issues and talk with the santo. They the ones that helping you. It's just my hand, she used to tell me. La manos son mía, but la magia de ellos. They the one that's doing it for you.
Exactly.
Yes, a lot of things have changed. I was lucky enough to join a house later on in the it was the future now, recently. And the person that I learned.
You got to move somewhere. Wherever you at is freezing.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it keeps breaking up. I don't know if it's where you at, but it keeps breaking up.
I'm trying to think.
You're in the monte, so we expect that.
That's what it is. I am. I'm in the boondocks.
Oh my God.
It's still breaking up?
No, I can hear you now. It keeps like, like it goes in and out.
Muffling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they don't understand. Like that's the thing with, back in the days it was work. You had to put in work, and rogations, they didn't charge you. Like I had that topic that somebody was telling me about. Rogations, like as a yabo. You know what I mean? Back then, rogations, they would do it free because that came with the whole pack of doing the santo. That was the derecho when you did that money for the santo. So that means when you come at my door, all you need to bring, because they're not paying, you bring the coco, the bell, and the plata.
Right.
And I do my services because that comes with the whole year in 7 days.
Yes.
But now,
as a jabo, yes.
Every time you do a rogation.
Yeah. Well,
and it's like,
seen so much. I've experienced so much just with my experience, like trying to crown my child. When you're crowning a child, I feel like you can't just go to anybody. My mistake was I was pressed to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't taking my time.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to happen to my child was to happen to me not speak with the madrina, or you understand what I'm saying? Or things like that. Because these days it is a business.
Yeah.
People don't understand when you crown somebody, that's like your kid, bro. You need to nurture them.
And when you crowning somebody's kid, that's even worse because they're sensitive about their kid. You want to watch your kid. If I want you to take care of my kid like I take care of my kids, like if you're not gonna do that, then let me know now from up front so we know that you can't touch my kid.
Right. And everybody works different. I meet a lot of people that see me with my idea de orula, and they're like, "Oh, you believe in Ifa?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." A lot of santeros don't. A lot of santeros think they don't need it because people don't understand. Ifa is Ifa and Yoruba is Yoruba. Palo is palo. Espiritismo is espiritismo. We all walk in the same shit because it's like it's the same school but different classrooms. You know how you gotta switch classrooms?
Exactly.
That's how I like to compare that shit. And I have a lot of people like, "Oh, you don't have my madrina." I didn't have mano de orula before I was crowned.
Because back then, because in tech, our lineage, they didn't. It's not that they didn't believe in babalaos. They just didn't have babalaos. Wasn't unless they needed one, they wasn't for it. And it wasn't babalaos like that.
So that
back
wasn't
then,
something my madrina walked us in. My madrina didn't walk us with Ifa or babalao. Exactly. She walked us with what we could do. Now, my guerreros, I received from a man and a babalao. That was one thing. Back in the days, women didn't give guerreros.
No, and they didn't. Listen, we got the same upbringing, and I was told from when I got it from my godfather, a man, told me the same thing. He was like, this is your elegua. The day that I am not around and I can't feed it, you feed it.
Right.
If there's no other man, you the only one that can feed it. But at the end of the day, it's a man that has to feed your elegua.
Right.
And anybody that gives you elegua should be a man. And babalaos give you the echu. But nowadays, the females, they want to do it. You can't give an elegua.
I do know older women. When my godmother started giving it eventually was when she started working with the babalao that she met that told her, you're already old, you don't have a period, you understand what I'm saying? You're not going through any of that, because that's the real thing. We can't be touching
it's the period.
Doing that. So I know that my madrina used to be like, I'm not even playing with that, because that's what I was just told and taught. That's exactly how we did it. I got mano de rula with my kid, with one of my kids. And I was crowned mad years.
Look at that. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. You're not the only one. But that's because old school, if you didn't need a babalao, they wasn't doing that. But now they want babalaos for everything. And it's not even that.
They're everywhere.
Babalaos want to be in everything too. No disrespect to the babalaos. I'm not saying if you're not in that topic, then I'm not talking to you. But they are babalaos. They want to be in everything. They want to, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things like babalaos have to be to do killing. They have to be there to pass on navaja. Back then, they didn't do that. But there were some houses that do that. There were some houses that did it. But now it's like they all want to do it.
Right.
You know, but it's the same thing with spiritual. You can't do nothing without santo. Santo is nothing without spiritual. And the same thing with Ifa now.
That's another thing. A lot of people that are spiritual think because they're spiritual and they have knowledge of Yoruba that they know everything. Listen, I give respect to Piritita. My madrina was a Piritita. I have my Mesa Blanca, I'm a Piritita. You understand what I'm saying? And spirits walk with you before the Santos. The Santos are given to you. The spirits caminan contigo in your past life. They were you and walked with you. So exactly. That's why we give respect to the Egun first. You understand what I'm saying? And the ancestors, because without them is no us. We have to. But you also know how to walk it parallel and not confuse the two, because too many people are confusing the two. Yes, they walk alongside of each other, but one thing is not the other. Like you mentioned about the caridad de cobre and ochun. Yo soy hija de las dos aguas, so I was taught.
My son too.
By my godmother, even on that day of their spiritual day, tú la tienes que atender junta, even if it's in a spiritual way. Because that's how you have to carry them. Spiritual, santo wise, however you carry them, they always got to be a nivel. You understand? Some people, that's my personal business. People don't know that. And they say, oh, but why you? Because I have to. That's what I got to do.
That's what they taught you.
That's how I was taught. Sometimes people ask me, you a daughter of Ochun? I say, no, I'm Yemaya. Why? Because I could do that. I am a daughter of Yemaya and Ochun. They say, no, you're not. It's Ochun. They don't matter. Do agua, Yemaya still your mother.
And technically, well, you're a child of who birthed you. I'm a child of Yemaya. I was born from Yemaya. You know what I mean? My guardian angel too, but I'm a child of Yemaya. Yemaya birthed me. You know what I mean? People forget that too.
That's a fact. Because my father's Chango, my madrina was Chango. And I'm Ochun from the neck here, but from this down, I'm straight Chango. I'm a child of Chango when it comes to that shit. Serious.
Listen, Chango came out and he said, listen, you my daughter. When I was a Yabo, he said, you my daughter. If they ask you, I'm your father. And I felt bad. I'm like, but San Lázaro is my father. They were like, no. But while you're in a Yabo, your father's Chango. And I was like, okay. So and even now, if they be like, Chango's your father, I'll be like, yeah. I don't say no because I can't, because that's offensive to him.
Listen, it's an honor. It's an honor. Because who wants to swing their axe and their bat to fight our enemies? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. And people, and like you said, going back to the spiritual stuff, like people feel like because they're spiritual connected and stuff, that they could do certain things like put beads on and do certain things like, you don't have license for that. you know, I know a lot of people. I know a friend of mine that I saw that had they were dressed in all white, and I'm like, oh, you got beads, and he's like, yeah. Well, he told me you did it. I'm like, they got santo? No. So then why are you dressed in white for 7 days? And you got beads. Yeah. Like, you don't, if you have just the guerreros or you just spiritually, that doesn't give you the license to give somebody beads because you saw the ceremony. You know how the ceremony goes. You feel like you could put the beads. That doesn't go like that.
But you know what, Janice? Santeros do it too. Because I've seen Santeros order beads and crown them on people. Where did they eat? Where did they get charged? It's like people, I told you about the neighbor with the idea that bought it in the Botanica. And I said, yeah, you could buy something from a Botanica, but what energy are you giving it? The shelf in the Botanica can't give something energy. What are you doing? Did you pray over it? Did you light a candle? Did you give the basic ingredients to it? Cacarilla, agua
florida, just say basic ingredients. We don't want to give these
three basic things I tell people. Cacarilla, holy water, agua florida, colonia. You can add that to whatever you want. Say your prayer and light your little candle. Even if it's a tea light, bro. Because sin rezo y luz, no hay nada espiritual. That's what everything spiritual is. Everything starts with that. No matter who you praying to. It could be an altar, it could be an ancestor, it could be whoever.
No, it's true. You can't do anything without a
teach that. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want you to call me to learn how to make a simple baño when you could do that yourself, bro. I'm not a fanatic to this religion. Maybe that's why I never really took on godchildren and the responsibility. I feel like I'm more of like a religious consultant to somebody because dealing with a client and a godchild is two different things.
Yes, it is.
A godchild, you got to answer that phone whenever they call you. That door got to be open when you're dealing with a godchild. A client, nah, bro. Get your consulta, we're going to do what we got to do y vaya con Dios. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true. It's different. It's different.
It's a difference. And so many people are fanatical, and that kind of turns me off. They think everything's a sign. Ay, que esto pasó. Yo, that's life. That don't mean something happened to you.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to get your own ita so you can know your own business and leave me alone and stop asking me questions. That's why we blessed to have that. They tell you everything you need to know. That's like our encyclopedia.
But even people with topics and books still if you don't have that right mentality, you're still gonna be like that too. Because there's people that have santo in their book, and anything that goes wrong, and they're like, "Oh my God, why?" You know what I mean? Go back to the book.
When I go through major things, the first thing I do is go to my ita and go to my consejos and be like, "Oh shit, they said this, this, and that." So I don't be like, "Ay, Dios mío, why did this happen to me?" No, dummy. You know why it happened to you because you were told to follow this. So your life could be good and you didn't do it, fool. So now you got to
retract and go back. Yeah. It's true. I sleep with my damn I sleep with my baga and my book next to me. Yesterday I was having a conversation with one of the girls and we was trying to know one of the words in Palo, and I was like, hold up, I got the book. I was like, I got it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you do forget, and I forgot, what was it? The devil, how to say the devil in Palo. And I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, oh shit. So I had to get the book, but I always go back to it.
When I was 5.
Yeah.
So like nowadays when my kids were scratched, they got a little manual with the prayers, the responses, the dictionary of the words in, you know, Congo or whatever. And I refer to their stuff. I'd be like, can I borrow you? I don't know.
Yeah, because you was little. You didn't know. You didn't learn that yet. Yeah.
Nobody was like, here's this manual. You need to read that. That's another thing. Yes, there's things that are written in books and stuff. But if you be around real babalaos and real santeros, what they have are manuals. They're not books that you could buy at Amazon or you could buy in a botanica. That was a manual that was copied down and given to them by hand for them to be able to know this stuff. Because you gotta learn to memorize every signal. Come on, man. How many signals are there?
Listen, the live that I put up before this with the guy from Cuba that they were talking about his grandfather.
And he's going back
he's going back with David Aguirre. He said the same thing. He was like, he never had a book. His shit was manual. It was written.
Right.
You know what I mean? They wrote it for him. If you could see a book in his house, you would be lucky. He would not. There was no books because back then they didn't have the books. You had to how you teach you. That's how they had it. Everything was written.
My godfather, that's the babalao. He has like a cabinet, and it's nothing but, it looks like screenplays, you know, because they be thick, the screenplay, and it's nothing but papers and papers and papers. And even though you will, like, you know, I'm up at the beat, I work with him or whatever, and when a signal comes out and I'm sitting in the room, after the people leave, he pull out the manual, he be like, now I want you to read what that signal means. So tomorrow you're not like, oh, I don't understand. So you understand. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're sitting here.
Exactly.
Not a lot of people will do that. He's very old school.
Yeah.
I don't need you to ask me frivolous questions. I could teach you so you know what you need to know. There's people that want you to be dependent of them. They don't want to teach you.
Yeah.
They want you to have to call them and be under their behind for every little thing.
That's a lot of elders. They don't want to teach you. That's why I tell people, that's why my last live I said it. You have to sit by your godparents. Back then, that's how they knew how to teach you. If you was there, you got taught.
I learned my yuba? Because I would sit with a bench and I would shut my mouth, shut everything else. And with my eyes and my ears, I kept hearing my madrina say it all the time, all the time. And then my padrino told me, listen, after your time, you got to add your own people in your mayuba. It's not going to be the people your madrina is mayuba to. It's us. This is our santo names. They're in your book. Boba your eguns. These, you know, name your eguns, and you just customize it. But the mayuba is the mayuba. We're just customizing the people in the worlds that we need to add. Our lineage, right? I know people that got santo malon. They don't know mayuba.
Yeah. I know a lot of them too. And that's why I say, I tell people that, like I was, me and my husband, that's the topic that I want to talk about too, that people have the yaboraje. The yaboraje is technically a year. That year you're supposed to learn your moyuba, you're supposed to learn the lineage of your house.
And observe and learn everything they're doing. You got to be a sponge, Bob. That's what I call people that need to learn. You have to be a sponge and absorb all that information.
Yeah.
Same thing with the songs. Elders will not sit there with you and teach you the song to sing. They're going to say, my nigga, how many times have you heard this song? You don't know it yet. How you can memorize a rap song, but you don't know the Ekun song. And if you were singing low, they would be like, yo, everybody be quiet.
I can't hear you.
You sing now by yourself. And if you didn't know that song, pobre de ti, how you would get embarrassed. And it was a harsh approach, and I understand that. But guess what? You will learn because you wouldn't want to get embarrassed again. So you were like, let me learn this so I don't look stupid. Up until present time that I learn now, I try to observe as much as possible.
That's what we tell people. Like, you gotta listen, because that's like when I said last week that, you know, people singing and stuff. You know the song, but do you know what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because you can know the song, but do you know what he's saying? Especially with the Santo song.
Of course, the
meanings. Like I still don't know half the meanings. I'm learning now with my sister-in-law and you know, a man that what it means and how to certain puyas and why it's there. But these newcomers, they come straight out, and they even aleos, they singing songs and like, yeah, I can sing, I want to sing, but do you know what that means? Do you know how to? You know what I mean? That's what we're saying. Like everybody want to be in everything.
Well, learn how you're going to sing, how you're going to stand next to a drummer if you're not initiated in Anya and you don't have all these things, because that's another world too for a tambolero. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why there are these Anyas and there are these crews and they are these groups. You got to be initiated in Anya. You need a tambolero that's well known to take you in. And you need to sit there just like a jabo and shut up and listen. And even if you're on that cowbell, dook, 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 all night, my nigga, that's what you got to do. You got to earn your stripes, like we was talking about before.
Exactly, because that's all these, like you said, they're all different classrooms. Those tamboleros and those drummers and them singers, they sacrifice, they sweat, they did a whole ceremony to be in that thing. It's not just, I can sing.
So much. I have a lot of respect for tamboleros and people who have their own Anya. I have a lot of respect for them because they have to have a lot of knowledge in that specific department.
Yes.
They're like scientists. They got to know all the science of what's going on in their department. On top of being santeros, and some of them are babalaos or whatever.
Exactly. They got to know all that.
They're in double worlds.
Yeah.
They make it look so nice and easy. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so
But it's not.
But that's it's a whole nother world.
When you see these new ones come in that don't even have the stripe, but then you're like, oh, I want to learn, teach me. But then at the same time, you're going and doing certain things that they would not dare to do, and you want them to help you. They feel offended. They're like, nah, you good. Since you think you know it all, then go ahead. But I don't have the time to teach you because you know it all.
Number one rule for me, and I don't want to call it a religion because I don't like to do that. I call it a way of life because it's a way of life. I don't
No, of course.
go to church on Sundays. I gotta get up y saludarle a santo todos los días y pedir la bendición de mi espíritu y de mi ego y de todo el mundo every day.
Every day. Yep. And the sun, because I do it every day.
Every day I'm in it. Every day que me limpia, que esto, que aquello, every day. So it's a way of life. Someone told me that and it clicked like, yo, you right. Because if you in it, you in it. Don't be half-assed. Either you in it or you not.
Yeah.
Number one rule of any religion is respect. Respect.
And humble. You got to humble yourself.
And you got to be humble.
A lot of people don't have that. They don't.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you know more than me, if you don't know me personally, or even if you do know me personally, I don't feel like you should fix your mouth to make any comment about me. Let it be bochinche, let it be something negative, let it be nothing, because you don't know me.
Exactly. Babe, your mother gave her locum. She said she used to play with y'all. Her godmother's, what's her name again?
Elsie Valentine from Castle Hill. Elsie
Valentine. Yeah. Yeah, so your father gave her mother a locum.
His father, Juanito, baptized my oldest spiritually.
Your father baptized her oldest spiritually.
Yeah, I was working after my madrina.
She was the one that went to the block. She was like, if I would have knew you was in his house, I would have said to say hi.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
He said she haven't seen you in a long time. She used to play with y'all. He said hi.
Tell him I said hi. Yeah, I remember that. Him and his sister and the little brother and all of them. We used to be in there. Running them up while they
running around with y'all.
Running them up.
So then y'all did something on the same time then, because he's gonna be 32.
Yeah, I did it there in Elsie's house.
What year you did it in? I mean, what year? What month?
In March.
He did it in December.
Okay, we're right there.
Yeah, right there. Y'all was probably y'all was running around being badasses.
Oh, wow. At 11. I didn't. Because, you know, my situation wasn't like...
She said she was the worst y'all walking that could be.
They weren't like, hey, you want to do Santo? They were like, yo, my nigga. What happened to me was, I was given 15 days to do Santo. Like that. Or they told
so back then they'll make it happen because people work for just
Chango,
nothing.
Chango told my godmother, you don't crown her in 15 days, you watch what I do to you. So she was like, I don't want to...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so y'all from the old school.
Old school crew. Old school.
Lucy, which one? Because there's a whole bunch of them.
Huh?
I'm trying to see which Lucy, because there's I know.
She was dark.
I know a few Lucy.
She was dark-skinned Cuban lady, real dark-skinned. That her daughters got Santo too. One of her daughters got Yumaya, the other one got Oya. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows her then.
Old school people.
Yeah, from back then.
Yeah, back.
Yeah, because he got scratched when he was 6 months. They scratched him at 6 months old.
I got scratched at 5. They weren't playing back then. They were not playing back then. If you needed to get your stuff done, and your godmother took you on and knew you had to get your stuff together, they were doing it like, you know? And then my godmother she had a templo, and then she turned it up.
That's what we're saying too. The girl had on live was saying that like there's no misas no more.
Now, you know, when I did Santo, I was like, I could fall back from the misas. Thank God. I'm a jabona. I gotta be at peace. You know, because it's a lot growing up in that. I didn't.
No, I mean when I was young, they wanted me in misas.
No, I was just gonna say I would try to hide. And my madrina would come down and be like, yo, go get upstairs. They'd be like, come downstairs. I'd be like, damn.
No, because of my signal, I was allowed to be in misas and stuff because that was my thing. So I was allowed to be in misas and stuff because of my signo.
Me too. I was way spiritual before that. I'm a moitera and all that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Egos was like, and Chango, who don't even like spirits like that, because if people know Chango don't mess with the spiritual stuff like that. He was the one who told me, I have to allow you because you walk with that since birth. It walked with you before me. So I gotta, and I would be like, ain't I not supposed to be in here? Why am I here?
Be like, psych, bring your ass.
Bring your ass downstairs.
It's true. A lot of people don't understand that Chango don't like that. I learned that from a tambor that I went to my godfather's house. He was Deputy Dos Santos in downstairs, and downstairs he had his stuff of 21 divisions, the table and all kinds of stuff. And they took Chango down there to Davidil. When he went down there,
he flipped out.
He started screaming and ran upstairs, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And they were like, oh shit, we forgot. He don't like this stuff. He didn't like it. So that's how I learned that Chango didn't like the spiritual world, the spiritual stuff, because I didn't know that. But it's a lot. It's a lot. He said, hell no, I'm out of here.
And explain to them why. My youngest is a child of Ochun, and she doesn't like spiritual stuff. She starts freaking out. And people are like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, she a child of Chango. That's a true child. She don't like it.
They don't.
They don't. You couldn't, man, I had a misa in my house. She didn't even come out the room to pee. I think she was in there holding her pee. Like, I ain't coming out. Forget that. She came out like, are they gone? The spirits are gone. I'm like, yeah.
But that, even with the misas, like back then, I remember we used to do misas every, like in my Palo house, like they used to have misas weekly, like, for everybody
That was my madrina.
To learn.
Weekly.
So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole purpose of her. But now people don't do that. They don't have, you got God kids, and it's more than 5, I think you should have that weekly or even once or twice a month where your house gets together to do misas and no charge. Just everybody bring flowers, colonia, you bring this, and y'all get together to do misas. Because that's how they're going to develop, and they're going to understand, and they're going to show them. But if you don't do that.
Honestly, I just started not too long.
Yeah, of course. You can do your own house.
You have to work them.
Yeah.
If you don't work them, how do you expect them to work? And you can't keep them in the dark either. That's not good for you. There's people who say,
that's like my
deal with that. You don't have a choice. If you don't get that right,
no,
the Santo's not going to mess with you. You got to get that ego straight first. Then the Santo will tell you, yo, go to the ego. And you be like, oh, what? They be like, I can't help you. Go turn that ego. Straight like that.
But that's what you have to do. You got to make sure you're straight before you do anything. You have to do your spiritual. Make sure you're straight in that room before you do anything.
Exactly.
So a lot of people don't understand that. Like my god sisters, god kids, when they had them, we did a misa for all of them got misas. And when we did the first one, they all came. And then we had one for someone else, and the sibling was like, do we go? Because, that's private. I said, it's not private. That's your god brother, right? You got to come. So that's the whole point. Because if you want to see stuff and you want to develop, y'all all have to be in the same room. You can go and participate. And if you see a color, if you see whatever the fuck you see, you say it. And they're like, what? I said, because no matter what, it might sound stupid to you, but it will make a connection with somebody and then make a story. So I don't care if you see a color, you say what you see.
Well, I talk to a lot of people too, like when I've done readings for people, and too, sometimes people got to understand your ego and your muerto is in your subconscious. They give you the thought. You're not going to hear the actual voice. People think, oh, I don't know nothing. I just have a thought. They're giving you that thought in that subconscious. They're the ones feeding you that thought and that information. So you have to say it. Don't be ashamed to say it, because they're the ones. Once again, we're the tool.
Yeah.
So they're using your brain to what it is.
Exactly. I tell people a lot, whenever it sounds stupid, even if it sounds stupid, you say it, because what you do is te tranca tu misma, when you don't give the message they're trying to tell you anyway.
Exactly.
And then people be like, oh, I don't just feel like it's me. It's not you. That you feel like it's you talking to yourself, but it's not. It's the spirit.
You think it's you. It's not.
And I try the new people that's coming, I tell them that. Like, it's not you. It's them talking to you. You have to say it. Because if you don't, then you don't learn shit. You're not going to develop.
Right.
That's the whole point.
I went through that. I saw my madrina pasando muerto, and I was like, I gotta do that? What are you talking about? Nah, that ain't for me. I'm not doing that. They were like, yo, you don't have a choice. And I have a gitana that I passed that I was younger, but I have other spirits that work with me too. I have more than one principal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used to see how messed up my madrina would be. We would have to carry upstairs, put her in the bed. Her negra want to drink a whole fifth of freaking Bacardi and, you know what I'm saying, be lit. And
yeah.
The spirits got to understand too, yo, we human. You using my body, bro. It's just like people who get touched in a drumming or people who really bring the santos down and have our chair. Do you know the stress that puts on your body?
For 3 days or 4 days? Yeah,
you don't dance like that. You
hurting
can't
like if you
move
do it
like
your whole
that.
day.
You can't work like that. That's the santo doing that. And people glorify that, but they don't.
Yeah, because I know that shit. That's for 3 days.
That's very hard.
Yep. It is. It's true.
Man, that happened to me once.
It's true.
And I felt like I got beat up. The next day, my son said, yo, Chu ain't playing with you. I was all over the place. He was like, yo, ma, I couldn't get out the bed. And my kids were like, it's a beautiful thing, but look at me now. And that's another thing.
They drain you.
Trabajando mucho santorial y espiritual. You got to clean yourself. You have to reset for your skin and bones and take a break. We're not superheroes. We're human people, man. Don't be ashamed to tell a God child, yo, I'm not feeling well today. This ain't a good week. This ain't a good day for me. Because si yo no me puedo ayudar, I can't help myself. How am I help you?
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
You can't rogate nobody's head if you stressed. You can't rogate nobody's head if you sick. We're doing this to lift people up. If you can't lift yourself up, you are oxymoron. How you lifting up somebody else? Impossible.
Exactly. You can't. You can't.
You can't. People don't get that.
I talked about that last week with people. Like, and like I said, no offense to nobody, but if you're sleeping in somebody's couch or you're renting a room and you're not stable, how are you taking on God kids and you're doing all this? You can't do it. You're not stable. Make sure you're good before you take on a God kid.
Another thing, if you're my godparent or you have godchildren out there, right? You got to respect one another. Just like I could tell my godmother or godfather something about myself, my godchild should be able to tell me, yo, my nigga, you slipping. What's going on, Marina? Well, that ain't you. That ain't you. What's going on here? Something going on, Marina? You okay? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that's disrespectful because you my godchild. You closest to me. So if I'm slipping, you should see that. Don't be ashamed to tell me that.
No, it's true.
Because we all brothers and sisters. That's why I could save somebody, but I need a brother and sister to save me. I can't save myself.
Exactly.
Porque necesitamos a group of santeros in the room to all work with each
Hi,
other.
brother. I just started seeing the comments, guys, because I was wondering why I couldn't see them.
One santero can't do it by itself. We need a group of us to all work together to make things happen.
Exactly. You can't do it by yourself. But a lot of people understand that.
Much respect to all santeros, babalaos, paleros, whoever. Nobody got that much ache that they could work all on their lonesome and make shit happen. It's not happening. You got to be lax with 12 arms, bro, because you can't do it by yourself. There's no way.
No. There's no way you could do it by yourself. Love you too.
But a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
It's true.
By themselves. You needed a jubona to receive collares in my day. I had a jubona for my collares when I was a kid. Nowadays, they just kneel you on a tera and put your collares on you and hey, you got collares, goodbye. Where's the baño? Where's the rompimiento? Where's the rogación?
Don't say too much because you give the aleos this fucking secret and they start doing the shit. But it's true. You know what? It's a whole. I used to tell people that like it's just not putting beads. It's a whole ceremony that's done. What? It's a beautiful ceremony. It's not, but it's a whole thing that you gotta.
Shame on you to those who think you could just go out and do that. Shame on you, Because you don't
Yeah,
gotta
for
pay
real.
that
Like,
with the
you know,
person.
people
You
don't,
gotta pay that with
nowadays
those
people don't even cook. Nowadays people don't even cook. When you do that ceremony, you cook. When my husband did Coyales with my god sister, I made a whole fucking dinner.
When you do anything, you cook. Even if I'm having a misa in my house, I'm putting out finger sandwiches and chips and juices and something. Because the old school way is that's the hospitality of how it is.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to.
Even
And
if
you don't
I
and
put
don't dare give a
dominoes
mayol.
in the island.
And don't dare give a mayol a paper plate. You gave a mayol a paper plate, you was getting yelled at.
I'm gonna take it back deep. Back in the days, if you were serving the santeros, you had to serve the mayol first. So you needed to figure out who had the most years out of respect and give them that plate first. You understand?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if you didn't know.
Exactly.
To ask somebody, you know how much they got, you know your madrina, your padrino, whoever. But if they're strangers, you gotta say, do you know? Even if it's my madrina's house and table, if there's an elder there, elder than that, that person gets that plate first out of respect.
Yeah, of course.
That's just the way it went.
That now they just put beads and be like, okay, y'all gonna go, you go eat. No, they sat me down. I ate like it was a little yabo. I sat down, I ate, and everything they talked to me. They gave me the understanding of the coyales,
everything.
Who's everybody? Why are you wearing them? How you wear them? Why they go inside? You know, now they don't tell you shit. Now they don't tell you nothing because there's a whole reason why you put your beads inside.
Books and going on
People
Google and doing all this crap. Like you said, I gave key information, but I can't give you the secret. No book is going to give you the secret, and no Google video is going to give you the secret. Those manuscripts have the secret because they hand it down. But no, you're not going to read all the information on the internet and in a book you're buying on Amazon or Kindle. I'm sorry to tell you. So if you're doing that crap, you're doing it incomplete. Congratulations, you played yourself. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Even people with the spiritual shit, scratching people sin tener licencia, you know, you don't have none of that. You shouldn't do none of that. It's great. Listen, the shit I see and hear, I be like, what the fuck?
Well, I've seen people get scratched that they're pinos that don't even stay there the 3 days. They just go get scratched. They got a day of rest to do whatever they want, and then they come back for nowhere. You gotta stay on Itera for 3 days.
Exactly. You sleeping where they tell you to sleep. You gotta stay there. But people don't even like that's the whole thing. And I've heard stories about people getting scratched, females scratching. No. Listen, females don't scratch.
And, you know and females also don't read the tableta avifa, and I heard of that before too. And
yeah. Yeah.
We can't see things that are happening. Unfortunately, it is a man's world, especially in our religions. It is a man's world. They are the upper hand. Not
well,
that
technically,
that's wrong.
You know, like
I don't think that's wrong. But I know as a woman in the religion, I have to stay in my lane and my place.
I understand, but like I do believe in. Listen, this is a man's world, but we ran a lot of shit at one point.
I mean the concept, because of course the woman gave birth to a man.
Yeah, of course.
The way that is shown in real life and religion is shown that way. It's shown that way. I'm sure there are women that will be amazing paleros and babalao. I'm sure there's women who have
now babalao is different, but like I said, like I told people, females shouldn't be reading tablero. There's a reason for it. But like they said, if you like I tell people, if you want to do it in Africa and you want to do Nigeria, then that's different. Go over there. But then don't sit here and say you look at me because that's
too. But do you think a female should be able to scratch somebody?
No. But what I'm saying is, as far as obas back then, and I'm not with the history and the stories how they said it, men made that happen where they started weaning the females out. You know what I mean? But technically, if you go back to the old days, the first fucking lady out here was an oba.
Okay, I want to say something, and I don't want to offend anybody because
Yeah, wait, but you gotta move the phone. You muffling again. Don't stay here. Wait,
Can you hear me now?
wait.
Now?
Stay still so we can hear you because it's all right. Okay,
Now?
all right. Go ahead.
Back in the days,
Yeah.
homosexuality in our religion was very frowned upon.
Yeah.
You were not homosexual out in the open. If you were, that was your private personal life. People didn't know that about you in the Santo room, and people didn't know your business. You weren't publicating that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Obas, and I've worked with Obas that I love dearly and I respect so much that have that lifestyle.
Yeah.
If they're
But you wouldn't
allowed
even
to
know.
have that lifestyle and be an Oba, why couldn't a woman in the future? But these are the rules. And there's women that know their craft so well.
Exactly.
But they're cheated because they can't get to where they really want to go.
Yeah, they cheated us.
They cheated. They're cheated.
Yeah.
They cheated.
Yeah.
You could
They
be
cheated us,
best,
man.
You
But
could
it's
be
true.
the best santera in the world. And you could have 1,000 godchildren, and you could be that one. You could be that bright star. You're never going to get the respect of an Oba or a Babalao or a Palero. None of that. They're always going to
Yeah, they
look
would
down
say
on you.
women can easily be Obasas again. No, of course. If we put our balls back on and be like, fuck it, we're gonna do it, of course. But are we gonna get talked about? Are we gonna get lashed? Of course, like all people, because men are not gonna they're not gonna allow it. Men don't want it. That's what happened. But technically, the first female that brought it over here was a female. She was Oba. But because of what, men wanted to, they pushed the woman away. Not saying that you can't, but that's the way it is. What he said. Cheated and act like we are powerless to change. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Like
But you know what? There's
powerless.
so many different customs in different places. If you go to Africa, like you said, the customs are different. You go to Brazil in the religion, the customs are a little different. You go to Puerto
I
Rico,
was laughing
they're
that day with
different.
my husband. I told him, I said,
If
babe, I'm
you
gonna be an
go
Oba.
to
He said,
Cuba, it's all the way authentic, totally different. Listen, here they tell you can't birth your kid twice. You can't crown a child. In Cuba, people crown their children santo. They birth them twice. And they're part of their kid's santo.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
I don't know where in Cuba, but yeah.
People do that. They're different.
Mm-hmm.
They have different traditions. They believe it a different way.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen it, but I've heard. But
we don't eat our animals or do anything of that. They dispose of them. In Cuba, they're getting cooked, baby. They ain't
here we cook them.
Nothing. A lot of people
don't.
Well,
in my house we cook them because that's what you eat.
My godmother used to not cook them. She would dispose of them. Then when I see people doing them, I'm like, I mean, cooking them as far as to eat. Us eating.
Yeah, you eat it the next day. This the next day. That's the food you eating.
We never ate animals like that.
Nah, we ate that shit.
Had to do something, but like the majority of the ones that were being sacrificed, they would dispose.
Nah, they made it eat it because they like my godmother was like, this is rough.
There was a lot of things
we ate
different.
Yeah. No, here, well, my house, we feed them, you eat them because my godmother, what they say is you have to eat a little bit of everything because just in case they take anything away from you.
Right.
So I tasted everything. I didn't eat it because I felt that's different because I know you just kill these shit, so I don't want to eat them.
Right.
But I did taste everything. But in my house, yeah, you eating it the next day, that's what you eat it.
Santo, yeah. But I'm talking about in other ceremonies and did general. Because when I did Santo, I had to taste
little ones, no, we're not eating that.
But I mean other initiation and ceremonies. No, when I did Santo, they put those 100 and something plates on the floor. And even if you just dipped your finger, you had to taste something. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about other things. Like if they give you 4 legs or feeding a Santo or something, they don't.
Yeah, no,
they don't.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. That's it. Just cheches and the rest is disposed.
Yeah, it's true.
Nowadays, they do things a lot differently.
It's true.
And I hate saying it, but people think that Santeria is a fad.
Nowadays, right?
It's a fad. People are just in it for a fad and to be fanatical and say, I know this and I know that, and my muerto this and my muerto that.
Después que ella salga, yo te invito. Okay? I think he said, invítame, right? Yeah. Yo te voy a invitar después que ella salga, yo te invito. No te vayas. That's Adonis.
Who?
I think that's, if I'm not mistaken. Right? I think that's the Opa from the, yeah, I think it is.
I can't see any of the comments.
I couldn't see it, but swipe like that. Swipe to the left. Can you see him now?
No.
Why?
I don't know what. Listen, I am the most technical, illiterate person you ever know. I just get the phones because they're cute. I don't know how to work them. I just think they're cool. I had to call my daughter, like, how we doing this live?
I think there's a Opa, I'm mistaken.
What happened?
But I can't do it. I said I want to invite him in, but I can't because it's 2 people only.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. But I can't. I was gonna ask you that day when I seen you when I walked up to the building, because he didn't live in that building. He lived in another one, right? And then he moved to that building.
He lived up the dead end by the where the balconies was at.
Right.
That's
Right, that's the building I know him from. And then they told me he moved, and I was like, my mother lost his number, and I'm like, you know, my mother used to walk up and down Southern Boulevard to catch him, and she would see him on Southern Boulevard, and be like, Padrino.
Number so she could call him. And when you come back down, let me know, because I usually this weekend we're not gonna go, but the following weekend we might go. So if you come down, let me know. Y'all can come over.
Definitely, definitely. I would love to see him. Love to see him. He was always a great positive staple in my life. What I like about him was he didn't mess around. He was about his stuff, and it's genuine and authentic. Because the crazy thing is, when I did Santo, my madrina was acting real funny with people, and she didn't invite him, and he popped up anyway. Like, what's good? He was like, I'm here for the nana. He don't play.
No, he's very what?
And he told my mom, yo, you know she didn't invite me, and my mom told her, like, you didn't invite Padrino Juanito, and she threw my mama. She threw my mama my santo. My mom couldn't be there when I was in the trono.
What?
Yes, she threw my mom out. Like, you don't got santo, you don't need to be here bound. She was something else. I love her.
She didn't have santo. She couldn't be in the ceremony. You know what I mean?
Right, but she could have been outside the throne.
And she could have been behind the curtain. Yes.
But back in the days, some old school people would just not, you know, after I stopped.
No, my father was like that. He's and my mother-in-law, they're very, very, very strict about their thing. They don't, they keep it the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
He's still like that Cuban rough style. They don't play that shit.
Right.
I'm telling you, I was saying last week, I was laughing because we were doing it on local. And his people that he invites, they're like him, they're his age. Like, they still work with him. He's out 60, 70 years old. And he was singing the songs and stuff. And, you know, there's a certain, you know, when you watch your stuff, you have to go by the songs because if not, just kind of songs about every night, you're still there. Right. So he was like, oh, yeah, one side. I'm like, she's old. He's like, well, she's old and she needs to stop not doing this because I need her to go with the songs. I'm like, but it's just because they old school and that's how he is. And he don't play.
Girl,
and if he sees something wrong,
when I received Caracol de Ogun, the lady that was opening up them animals was mad old. And she was doing her thing. And she was an older lady. So that don't mean nothing.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, they don't listen. They just, I love them. I wish there was more of that, you know, but eventually they get older, they get tired, and they're tired of them. And it's not that they just feel like they're disrespected because a lot of new people come in, not saying that you're learning, but they forget that you gotta respect your elders. I don't care what they do, what they say. You gotta respect them. They've been too long for you to respect them.
That's a key right there. That's a key right there because you might have studied and you might know what you know, but you always gotta stay in your lane with an elder. Respect is everything in the religion.
No, of course.
Because the Santo look at you like you can't respect your elder. How you gonna respect me? I'm on that person's lady.
Exactly.
How?
Right.
That's how I look at it. I try not to violate people who have santo, but some of them,
you have.
They need that spanking sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because there be a lot of people who don't know much with their chest puffed out.
And you gotta, like we said from the beginning, you gotta humble yourself. If you do not humble yourself, you're not gonna do nothing.
If I'm 29 years and I could be humble, if you 3 years, what business you got not being humble? And you're a couple of years
exactly.
Old. You just started in this.
Yeah. If people don't understand that. Exactly.
Nothing else you could go around that with. Even if you don't like your godparent or you don't agree with them, whatever the case may be, you always have to respect them. Don't ever badmouth them. Because you're badmouthing somebody who helped you make a sacrifice for your santos.
Exactly.
I say my grandmother's heart all the time, but I always la bendición, yo se lo pido para ella because I have to.
It's true.
I wouldn't have a check if she didn't give me a check.
You would have the blessing of having santo anything.
That's nothing. Nothing.
It's true.
Nothing. That's facts.
That's true. But I appreciate the conversation. We had a good conversation. We could do it again. We're going to do it again.
Facts.
I'm going to try to put this man on. If I'm not mistaken, it's an Oba, so it's going to be, let's see what
I'm going to watch it. A lot of blessings for everybody watching. A lot of blessings for you. Don't forget to tell me when you're going to be down because I want to see Padrino Juanito.
I will.
It's
I will.
been a long time.
I don't even tell your mother. We just tell her.
No, I'm not. Yo, she's going to go crazy.
Oh, she going to watch his life?
No, she don't got no Facebook, child. She don't got
okay, good. So we won't tell her. You like the way
No. That would be a good surprise for her. That would be a really good surprise for her.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama, for having me on.
We definitely
will. Bring out a lot of blessings. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night. Bye.
Yes, baby. You too.
Okay. Hi, guys. Let me see if I got Odonis, if she's still here. Ay, bendición.
Santo, ¿cómo tú andas? Dios te bendiga.
Bendición.
¿Cómo están?
Bien, ¿cómo está?
Ahí mirando los foros tuyos ahí que están aceptables. Se ve todo bien ahí, todo ahí a la marcha. Qué bueno.
Gracias. Tú eres Opa, ¿verdad?
Sí, claro.
Bien, papá. Yo siempre yo no hablo mucho español, voy a tratar de hablar bien. Pero yo me pongo con los santeros a hablar las historias de ellos y las cosas buenas que pasan en la religión, porque ahora hay muchas cosas que están pasando que no es bueno. Tú ves que yo estaba hablando como la cosa con David Agayupa, hablando con ese hombre que se murió, tú sabes, cosas así que no debe de hacer. La gente no tiene respeto más nada para los mayores.
Exactamente, hay que respetar a los mayores religiosos y todo eso. Yo me baso mucho de los elementos que la ciencia del panteón da. ¿Tú sabes qué santo tienes hecho?
Yo tengo ochun.
Ochun, amo foripar,
sí.
Oye, lo que me lo da todo. Oye, me hiciste de la verdad que ya estamos viendo que ha visto oriateses por ahí como tiran 21 caracoles en el lavatorio, ¿no?
21, no son, en el lavatorio no son 19, 18.
No pueden tirar ni 18 ni 21 caracoles.
Ah, pues enséñame entonces, dime.
Ah, bueno, ahora te voy a decir la base.
Vamos a enseñar.
Ahora te voy a decir la base por qué ellos no pueden tirar 21, ni 18, ni 19 caracoles.
Ok.
Bien, mira, vamos a empezar que nosotros, los yalorichas, los babalorichas, los molochas, nosotros tenemos ocha que se llama Yoruba Locumigo, un dialecto, ¿no? Nosotros tenemos mandamientos. ¿Cuáles son nuestros mandamientos? Son 16 mandamientos. Cuando la madrina, ¿tú has hecho santo? ¿las has hecho santo a alguien?
No, yo no, yo tengo 8 mil.
Oh, cuando le hacen santo a alguien, la madrina le entrega 16 caracoles. A ti no te entregaron 16 caracoles en tus manos, que fue lo que usted tiró cuando usted se hizo santo.
Sí, 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 sí.
¿Entiende? Entonces, adentro del cuarto no pueden tirar 18 porque el espíritu de la ocha, acuérdate que todo era espiritual.
Ujú.
El espíritu de la ocha se purifica sobre la materia. ¿Qué es materia? Materia es piedra. ¿Qué es materia? Caracol. ¿Qué es materia? El coco, el coco, el coco. Y estas tres materias, ¿por quién están alimentadas? Por el agua, que se llama omituto. Omituto.
Ujú. Sin agua no hay nada.
Exactamente. Entonces, fíjate, nosotros que somos santeros, que tenemos hecho
Ujú.
santos, nosotros nos identificamos con un nombre. Tú tienes un nombre en el santo, ¿no verdad?
Sí.
Ajá. Te identifica con tu nombre santo delante de la sociedad de nuestros hermanos santeros. Yo también tengo un nombre santo, también los demás santeros. No. El locha, como es espíritu, el santo, como es espíritu, ocha, que es espíritu.
Sí.
El locha lo que hace es espiritualmente purificarse sobre la materia. ¿Cuál es la materia que es más duradera? La piedra. La piedra. Por eso se llama chacún otá. Vencimiento, obstáculos y dificultades a través de esta piedra. Es lo que significa. Y el espíritu del locha, del santo, va y se purifica sobre esta piedra. ¿A través de qué? A través del elemento del agua de consagración. A través de la hierba que nosotros utilizamos medicinaria, el panteón de la ocha, y el
Ujú.
fuego que la vela que alumbramos para darle conocimiento a nuestros ancestros que vamos a hacer un santo y que vienen a darnos a nosotros nuestra bendición.